geekouts.com. So today, I decided to do a live video. It's impromptu. It's been a while since I've done a live video. So if any of you are watching, say hi in the chat so that I know you're there. And so today I want to talk about 2020 and how it's been absolutely crazy. And there's going to be some other things that, I wanted to share with you. And so the first thing that I want to say is, for anybody who's going through the pandemic, which is probably the craziest thing, definitely in 2020 or in a long time. I've never experienced anything like this. And so I just want to say for everybody who's going through this around the world, to be healthy and safe. And, if you have anybody that, you know or you care about that's suffering through this, hopefully they'll get through this very quickly. So that's the first thing that I want to say. And then the second thing is actually want to talk about the positive sides of 2020, and right now, with everything that's going on, that's probably the last thing that you're thinking about. But at least for me, I really feel that 2020 has really elevated my mindset and level of thinking when it comes to being grateful. So if you've actually watched my channel for a while, I have done videos on being grateful before. And this is something that I've just learned throughout the years, to always be grateful for a lot of things. So in 2020, let me go ahead and list some of those things that I'm grateful for. Of course, the obvious things, are your health, your family, people you care about. That's definitely the most important thing, and I think that's important no matter what. So that kind of goes without saying. And then the second thing that I'm grateful for, and I'm so thankful, is you. I always say that on every video, or I'm always thinking that on every video. If it wasn't for you here on the Geek Outdoors community, watching the videos, supporting what I do, supporting the geek community that surrounds it, it's just such a huge thing. And especially now in 2020 where more people than ever are actually spending their time on the internet, and they are connecting with other people around the world, sharing their ideas, their thoughts. And I really feel, as I pretty much always have with platforms like YouTube, is this one of the best places for you to share your ideas, to connect with like-minded people. And that's something that I always am grateful for. I'm so grateful for all of you in the geek community. So that's a very big thing for me. And then another thing that I'm grateful for is really all the feedback and ideas that I've gotten through this channel. And so if you are a longtime supporter of this channel, then you kind of know a lot of the things that we do here on Geek Outdoors. But if you're brand new to this channel, I definitely first want to say welcome. Welcome to Geek Outdoors. Thank you so much for visiting and subscribing to this channel. And so in this case, throughout this year, if you've seen my videos, especially at the beginning of 2020, I started making changes to the content. And if you've been here on my channel for a while, like maybe 5 years now, I've always been making changes. And so now I'm going to transition over to some of my thoughts in 2020, beyond what I've just talked about earlier. And now it's focusing on this whole content or YouTube stuff, because obviously here on my channel, I do a number of things. The main things that I teach on this channel are how to be creative, as you've probably seen. Most of it is focused on YouTube. However, it goes just beyond that. You could use these ideas and teachings no matter what. And then secondly, as you've probably definitely seen, I have a lot of video editor tutorials. So these video editor tutorials, whether it is for open source tools like OpenShot, Kdenlive, Shotcut, or tools like DaVinci Resolve or Cyberlink Power Director, I made all of these videos because whenever I started out here in YouTube, those were the videos that I was looking for. And so as cliche as this sounds, whenever you become a creator, you kind of learn like, okay, like, why are you making this, right? You're making this stuff. In the end, you definitely want something out of it, okay? So everybody has their own reasons, But I think for the creators who have been on here for a while, it's always kind of like this giving back, where you paid forward. Because whenever I started my YouTube journey, other creators before me helped teach me how to do these things, how to actually, get into this whole world of YouTube. And let me go ahead and I noticed that my notifications, okay, it's kind of weird, okay. So that's the thing about doing YouTube is because eventually you kind of start understanding more and more why you're doing this. And whenever I started creating these video editor tutorials, starting with OpenShot, I noticed a big response to that, over the years, and prior to that, if you watch my channel, I've done Linux videos, which I love Linux, video game videos. I've done a lot of different things. But what I found that has helped people the most are these video editor tutorials. And they're the most relevant to YouTube because obviously you have to make videos for YouTube. I mean, there's other ways you could do it, but that's the most important thing. And thanks to all of you for leaving feedback on these video editor tutorials. That's where I've gotten the most feedback from. I've getting a lot of positive feedback, but I've also gotten a lot of constructive feedback. And of course, you always get the haters and trolls. Those are there as well. But overall, the video editor tutorials are the ones that I think has helped people the most. And because of that, uh, in some of my earlier videos, I talked about changing my content strategy again. And so earlier in the year, I started focusing more on video editor tutorials. And so if you notice, if you go back to like maybe around January, February, that's when my content started changing. And so I started focusing more on video editor tutorials. So that's when you started seeing uh, DaVinci Resolve tutorials, you started seeing shortcut tutorials, and I already had the OpenShot and Kden Live tutorials prior to that. And then I did a few other tutorials on Cyberlink Power Director, and I think I did one video on Windows Video Editor as well. But I feel like those tutorials have helped people the most. But if you also watch on my channel, there's other tutorials. Obviously, the YouTube stuff. Even though that doesn't necessarily get the most views, over time, I'm getting more people watching that. More people giving feedback, more people like getting value out of that. And that's really my overall goal with all of these things is I want to produce content that actually helps you. That you actually get something back from it. Because there's many different type of content that you can watch on YouTube. I mean, there's like a limitless amount of content all around the world. But if you are producing content, in my opinion, that really helps people learn something, then you're gonna get a lot back from that. Not only from the fact that you're gonna get people watching it, you're gonna get growth and so forth, but you're gonna get a lot of sense of fulfillment. It's kind of like that whole adage of you teach somebody how to fish, and so I'm very big on teaching people how to fish because I was taught how to fish as well. And so just kind of thinking about this whole content change over this year, the crazy thing is, and I kind of saw this coming, even back then, I made a video about it, that this content change would really improve the growth of the channel, the community, and so forth. And so that's exactly what's happened. So nearing the end of 2020, this has been one of the best years that I've had for growth. And at the same time, I think it's been a year where I've gotten the most feedback, from you, the viewers and the community. And so that's something that I had to learn myself, even though I kind of knew already. So if you have watched my channel since the beginning, like many YouTube channels, and I made a video about this as well, you start off with like a variety channel because you're not really sure what to create, okay? And so in this case, I did all types of videos, because you're just so excited to create, you want to do whatever. And, through researching other YouTube creators, mainly the gurus, I don't really want to call them that, but they're experts, at creating YouTube videos, doing business out of it. So if you watch my channel, some people that I follow and really enjoy are people like Roberto Blake, um, Tim Schmoyer, Daryl Eves, and there's a Leonard Ducey. She's a great one. Um, and there's also video creators. There's like, and also Nick Nimmin. Those are like some of the ones that I can think of. And Brian G. Johnson. They're all part of the same group. And I feel if you want to learn the fundamentals of YouTube and also to go higher than that, they're the best place to start. And so the angle that I come in is I'm offering my viewpoint on how to create here on YouTube from my own experience and the things that I've learned. And one thing that they consistently talk about, all of them pretty much, is talking about niching down. Okay. And so if you are going to be starting a YouTube channel, and this is just general stuff, and you're thinking of growing fast, then it's better for you to niche down. Better to start off with some type of niche. And understandably, that's hard at the beginning. It really is because you don't really know. For most people, they don't really know what they want to do. I'm still trying to figure that out to this day. But if you can come down to a few things, then it makes things a lot easier. For example, ever since I switched my content over from a variety more to this video editor YouTube type channel, it's been more consistent in terms of the growth, people watching, people subscribing, and so forth, because people know what to expect. When people kind of know what to expect, they're more likely to come back. So if you think about, watching TV or watching it, something on the internet like a show, you kind of know what to expect. You watch certain shows in certain categories, and so that's one thing that I do want to reiterate. The drawback with doing it that way is, you're kind of like limited, in a lot of ways, because now people only want that type of content. And so if you don't enjoy doing that and you don't mind taking it slower, then, continue doing the content that you want to create. And more importantly, the content that resonates with your audience. And so that's something that's very, very important is figuring out who your audience is and, what works well for you and for them. Okay, so those are some of the other big things. So that's kind of like my thoughts today for those things. How 2020, mainly because of the pandemic, it has been crazy. There's been a lot of ups and downs, but I think the biggest positives of this is because people are on the internet more. They're probably able to, like think of other things, other things that they normally wouldn't think about, or try other things, or connect with other people. Okay, so all right, let me just decline that. And so that is it for this video. This wasn't something that I really planned. I just wanted to go live and talk with you. So for the one person who's on here, thank you so much. Normally people don't watch any of my live videos. However, if people get value out of this, obviously this is going to be published. And I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this up. But if the video is up publicly, definitely watch it. And if you have any thoughts or ideas on this, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if there's no other things, if y'all have any other messages, leave it here, and I'll try to get back to them. Oh, there it is. There's one person, Keshaf Go. Hello, hi Keshaf. Thanks for joining. Now, whenever I've done live videos in the past, normally there's not a lot of people who join, okay? But whenever there are people who join, we always have interesting conversations. And so since we do have one person or two people, did y'all have any questions, before I sign off on this video? Okay, Irina Rose, should to do a GIMP or Krita tutorial. Hi, Irina. When it comes to GIMP or Krita, I have been thinking about that, okay? And so what Irina is talking about here is, if you're not familiar, GIMP is a open source Photoshop alternative, okay? And then Krita, it's more for illustration, like if you actually, kind of like Inkscape, but more like a publishing tool, okay? And Casey, hey Ray, oh cool, hey, thank you y'all, thank you. Let me turn off one thing to make sure that we don't have any, yeah, that's kind of the funny thing, I don't really do many of these live videos, and it's gotten better over the years. Yeah, so Irina Rose, maybe in the future, I have been thinking about doing some GIMP tutorials. I'm not really good with Krita, and so I don't know if I'm going to be doing many videos on that. But GIMP in the future, as I learn more, I plan to create tutorials on that. And so a lot of my ideas for the type of content I'm creating, I'm always thinking of what type of content I create, as I talked about earlier, that people can learn from, okay, that people can learn from and use for themselves. Okay, so GIMP is one that I definitely want to teach, but my skill set with GIMP is like basic. Okay, even to this day, I don't really do a lot of image manipulation. But thanks for asking that. And for anyone else on this particular live feed, did y'all have any other questions? You know, because I normally rarely ever do these live videos. If you had any questions, please leave it there. So, hey Archer, how you doing? It is night in India. Yeah, yeah. I will say this, okay? For anybody who's brand new to YouTube, you probably already know this, right? But you have an international audience, okay? So whenever you're doing YouTube, uh, through your analytics, you can see where people are watching your videos from, okay? So just to let you know, the top locations that people are watching my video content from is the United States, obviously. Then second would be India, and then, funny enough, Australia and the Philippines. There's other countries as well, but those are like the top countries, you know. And one thing that I have really appreciated out of having this international community is that you get a lot of different ideas, and because there's people from different cultures, and so their mindsets, their ideas could be very different from you. And I myself, I I have, been thankfully I have had a chance to travel internationally. So I can't remember who just said that, but I haven't been to India, but I've been to Pakistan. So I have been to Karachi, Pakistan, and so I always wanted to go to India. So I'll probably definitely go back to India for sure. And so thanks for staying up. I don't know what time it is over there in India, but I would love to go to, let me just think of some countries that I haven't been to. I would definitely love to go to India. My brother did go to India about, I'd say about almost 2 years ago. And I definitely want to go to the Philippines. I want to go to Cebu. I don't really want to go to Manila. I think there's like way too many people. I know some Filipinos myself, and I think that's just too crowded. So more than likely, I'll end up in Cebu. There's a channel that I follow, many channels that I actually follow people who live in the Philippines. I would really like to go to the Philippines. And next to the Philippines, I would like to go to Indonesia, of course, Bali, but I like to go to other places. You know, I think the biggest island is Java, so I would like to go there. I have been to Japan, but I would like to go back to Japan on a more like personal versus business. And so definitely want to go through every region of Japan and South Korea. Man, I love, I really want to learn more about South Korean culture, just Korean culture in general, because I'm a huge fan of the entertainment side, you know, K-pop, the movies, K-drama, all that stuff. But there's a rich history of culture there that I would really love to explore. And I have been to Europe. I've been to Germany, Spain, and so I would really love to go back to Europe. What I would like to do is, take a train, from like maybe like to France, to Italy, all of those places. So yeah, thanks for staying up at night. um, Let me think of some other things when it comes to having an international audience. Um, if you do realize that a lot of your audience is from other countries, I would highly recommend that. Oh, okay, okay, I'll answer that, Rena. Oh, okay, Kelsey. Okay, I saw it. What camera are you using? I'm using my Moto G phone, and I think Rose asked. I don't know. I can't see that message. Let me see. I'm still not seeing this. Okay. Okay, there it is. I'm still getting used to this new interface. How come you don't do any anime in your Geek movie channel? Oh, well, thanks for asking, Rose. I do have a movie channel. If you didn't know, it's called Go Movies. I have a gaming channel as well, but I don't really post up there. So, whenever we have these live episodes, I could kind of go all over the place depending upon the people who's on here. And uh, so Rose was asking how come I don't do like anime reviews on my movie channel. It's because I haven't found one that's really interesting. And most of the content that's available on streaming services like Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, all of these, Amazon, they're like series, seasons. So it takes a very long time to watch all of them. Okay, and so at least for me, that's not where I want to spend all my time. So if you probably notice on my channel, I have a lot of content. Yeah, your name, I haven't I think did I see that? I might have seen that, Rose. I'm not sure. I think I might have seen that. Oh no, I haven't. Your name. Oh yeah, that came out a few years ago. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That came out a few years ago. So anyway, so I have the movie channel, and this goes into another thing that I haven't really talked about here on this channel, and that is having multiple YouTube channels. I have more than two YouTube channels, by the way. Um, what I've learned myself, and I kind of already knew this. If you're thinking about doing multiple channels, I I really wouldn't recommend it because it's really difficult for you to focus. Okay, so and for myself, the reason why I had multiple channels is because of Geek Outdoors, because I had so many different ideas, and then because of that, this is the positive out of doing a variety channel. I was able to figure out that certain people like different content, and since I produce so much content, I could create an entire channel out of that. And so that's why I decided to create the movie channel and the gaming channel. And I even thought about doing a Linux channel because I love Linux. But the problem is, whenever you have these multiple channels, it takes up a lot of your time. Okay, so if you're like, I guess if you have a lot of free time and you have a lot of money, if you're an adult, then go ahead, just have as many channels as you want. But I think for most people, it's better if you focus on just like one channel or maybe two if you can, and then just kind of grow that. Okay, that's kind of like my thought on that. Okay, so that's why for the main channels that I focus on, it's primarily this channel. And whenever I watch something interesting, I post it up on my movie channel. So hopefully that answers that, Rose. And then going back to the camera thing, um, this Moto G phone, I did a review on it as well. And one thing that's really important if you're brand new to my channel, I have over 1,000 different videos. It's probably like 1,400 videos. There's a lot of videos that I don't make public. But if you wanted to see the content I have, I've categorized everything. Just go to my playlist. And so, for example, this Moto G phone review, right? Go to my playlist, check out my Geek Gear reviews. In that playlist, I reviewed pretty much all the equipment that I bought up to this point. And a lot of what I do, a lot of what I buy, it's to create. Okay, I don't normally buy stuff that doesn't lead to creating something, And so I have talked about that in other videos in the past. If you are getting into YouTube, I wouldn't really focus a lot on the gear that you're going to buy. As I've always stated, and I even have a playlist for this, just use your smartphone. Okay, just use your smartphone, because if you focus so much on the gear, it's going to take away from you focusing on creating. Okay, and to be honest, buying expensive gear is not going to make you a better creator. That's plain and simple. Like, for example, like this, right? If you don't learn how to talk while you're doing other things, this is live, by the way, and so this isn't pre-scripted. So as you are building up your skills, which it is a skill, on how to be a content creator, you're going to learn a lot of things. Okay, so Archer, you asked, sir, when did you start this channel? Um, if you go to my channel, Archer, and you sort by the oldest, and I have talked about this before, but if you're brand new to my channel, the very first video that I uploaded here in Geek Outdoors was back in 2013. It was a Double Dragon video. I love Double Dragon. I love video games. And that was the very first video I did. And I made that video with the old Sony CyberShot camera. If you look through my old videos, you see it. And basically what I did was I set up the Sony CyberShot on top of a tripod, and then I recorded my TV. So that's the very first video I ever uploaded to Geek Outdoors. And then I uploaded that October 2013. And then October 2015 is when I uploaded my very first episode of Geek Outdoors. KI2NE. Oh, man. I have not seen you in so long. Oh, man. Hey, KI2NE. Okay, so some people that's been here a long time, I don't know if it's the same person, but Rose, I don't know if that's the same Rose. I'm pretty sure it is. Rose has been here since the beginning. KI2NE has been here since the beginning. I want to thank you so much because y'all have been here for years. And at the same time, The people that have been here a long time, they've seen the evolution of this channel, you know, like from the beginning to where it is today. And that's one thing, that's another really awesome thing that you learn, because as you're doing YouTube, if you're going to do this for the long term, even if even if you don't plan on doing a business out of this, you learn how to be very entrepreneurial. Okay, and there's no way around that because what you're doing is what a business is doing. Okay, just to, let me explain that to you. So whenever you start a YouTube channel, just like a business, you're starting something from the beginning. There's normally nothing there yet unless you already had a business, and then you actually have to grow a community or a customer base, which is what businesses do. And then you have to create content, right? Now, in the whole business world, you're creating products or services. And just like a business, you have to do marketing and sales. So in this case, even if you're not selling anything to somebody, you're selling yourself. So just think of you watching TV or movies. When you're a creator, you're doing the same thing these big multi-million, multi-billion dollar companies are doing. And what's amazing about YouTube and the internet is that normal people like you all around the world, you could actually create something out of this. Beyond just the really awesome thing of sharing your ideas and creating content, you could actually create a lifestyle out of this, which is what I've done. Okay, so because of YouTube, I have been, well, because of YouTube and many other things surrounding that, I have been able to work on the internet, and I've talked about this before for a long time, like probably 6 years or 7 years. I've been working on the internet. So if you've been a long time watcher of my channel, you probably see me outside a lot or doing videos because I'm already on the internet. Okay, and so CRAAAZY, content creation is practically running a business without actually being business. Yep, that's true, CRAAAZY. It is, and I'm glad you brought that up because people might be thinking, man, this YouTube thing or Instagram or Discord, it doesn't matter, all right? Whenever people think about that and they think you're just creating stuff, well, think about like the movies that you watch, the TV shows, the books that you read, the music that you listen to. Those were all created by someone, right? And those people are still reaping the rewards from that, okay? So like if there's a book that you really like or music that you like, they keep coming back to it. So Rose asking, you're doing live stream because I guess because Geek has a, what are you asking, Rose? I'm sorry, I can't see that. Let me, okay, this is not the best interface. Stop doing live stream because too much content produce other personal things. Yeah, that's right, Rose. And that's one thing that I just kind of talked about a little bit earlier. Whenever you're doing this, you're going to experiment a lot. And going back to the whole entrepreneurial thing, businesses experiment a lot, because they have to, okay? So a while back, whenever live streaming on YouTube was like a new thing, of course I tried it. I tried live streams every single week, but even right now with like 12,000 plus subscribers, not many people watch my live streams. So that's really why I stopped creating live streams. And at the same time, live streams, they take up time, okay? So you might think, oh man, you're spending 30 minutes or an hour doing this. It's not really that much time. But honestly, it is. If you are a content creator, if you think about spending an hour doing a live stream, right? Think about how many pieces of content you could create it within an hour. That's the way I think. And so instead of doing the live stream, even though I love connecting with you, the community, in that 1 hour, I could come up with like 4 to 5 or maybe more pieces of content so that you can enjoy. Okay, so I kind of feel that's a better use of my time, to be honest with you. So that's why I kind of stopped doing the live stream. And even nowadays, from a technical point of view, live streams normally do not help a channel grow. The main reason why is because usually live streams are long. And the one thing that Google or YouTube really looks at is the retention time. Okay, and so if people are only spending like 2 to 3 minutes on this, that hurts your retention. And because that hurts your retention, it's gonna negatively affect your channel. So that's why if you go throughout YouTube, there's not as many live streams as there used to be. Okay, so just a little FYI. And yeah, so going back to the whole entrepreneur thing, if you're thinking about doing this, even if you don't think about doing it as a business, just understand that what you are doing is very similar to business. You could get a lot out of this going forward. So LOL montages, hello. Hi, LOL montages. Oh wow, there's 7 people on here right now. And a lot of times when I do these live streams, I don't really plan it. But as Rose pointed out before, I used to plan a live stream every Saturday, if I remember correctly. And so that was kind of tough at the time because at the time, I had, obviously you have other things to do. So I would like work a lot. And then the next morning on Saturday, I would have to like do the live stream. So that's another thing. Whenever you're doing live streams, you have to plan things out, and sometimes it's not always easy, okay? So what are some other questions that you had? I just want to say thank you again for everybody who's on here. And wow, I'm so happy to see KI2 and Rose here because they were here when I was primarily doing Linux videos. So that was awesome. They were here to support, and I love Linux, so I might be making more Linux content, but maybe not publicly for the viewers on this channel, okay? So that's the nature of live stream, unscripted. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that you kind of learn, like as we're doing this, it's on the internet, so you don't really feel like, you don't feel as much pressure, I would say, but it still is a skill that you have to learn, because if you look back at my older videos, especially when I started doing live streams, they weren't that great. And even this one right now, it's not the best, but I would say it's better because over time, you just learn to act, like think of it as a conversation with people, okay? So that's kind of like the format that I've always gone with YouTube, is make it conversational. Because even though I haven't met any of you, I always feel like I have met you and I'm talking to you. So Bilal, I just had this question on my mind. Which country are you from? Oh, I'm from the United States, Bilal. What country are you from? I was just curious. And that's one thing that's really interesting. I watch other YouTube channels. Nepal, awesome, awesome. So Nepal, if I remember correctly, that's south of India. I think so. Or yeah, or no, I can't remember. But oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So I watch other YouTube channels in different countries, and even though I can't understand the language unless they have subtitles, it's really awesome. I love watching creators from other countries, and I don't know which one is my favorite country. I don't know. There's just so much good content. I watched this one Russian channel. I forgot his name. I think it's Gopnik, or I can't remember his name. No, that guy was so funny. If you look up Gopnik, Gopnik, you'll find his channel. I talked about him before. There is another channel. He's out of Brazil, and I can't remember the name, but he does Linux videos. That's a great channel. And there is some South Korean channels that I watch, tech YouTubers. Yeah, Boris, KI2NE, that's right. Yes, Boris. Yeah, he's out of Russia, man. He's funny. And Boris, I don't know if it's Boris the Gopnik, but do a search for it on YouTube. So basically, he's a gaming channel, but he does many other things, and he wears a ski mask. So you never really see his face. I don't know if he's shown his face, but his channel just blew up. I think it went up to I think he's past 1 million subscribers. It was crazy, but his content, it is so entertaining. He talks about Russian stuff like squatting, the Slavic way, Adidas, all types of stuff. I don't know. That type of stuff is awesome. I enjoy it, but I enjoy watching so much different content, and I get a lot of ideas, which leads me to another thing. I'm jumping around, but if you're brand new and you're trying to think of ideas, I think the easiest way is think about what you like watching. That's like the easiest way. What type of content creators that you like watching, and then see if they're in the same niche that you are. More often than not, they are. Like whenever I started this channel, I already had a lot of channels that I could look to. Like I love technology, so I watch a lot of MKBHD. So I learned a lot from his channel, Techno Buffalo, so many other channels. So I already had an idea. And then whenever I thought about doing YouTube creator content, right? I watched a lot of the creators that I talked about earlier, And then Linux videos. There's a lot of great Linux creators, so I watch a lot of their content. So there's always other creators out there who have done what you probably want to do. And one area that I don't talk about too much on this channel, but I do have a playlist, is the whole digital marketing area. Those are like two things that I really, really love doing. Obviously, I love doing YouTube. I love creating content, but I love digital marketing. And what you'll notice is, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, if you're going to be doing YouTube or anything on the internet, you have to learn marketing and you have to learn sales. And so as a content creator, even if you don't realize it, you're going to be doing it with both. Okay, so BitLab's asking, what do you think other than doing YouTube and tinkering Linux? Oh yeah, that's what I just mentioned, BitLab. I do digital marketing. And so digital marketing is really a wide area, but the main area that I focus on, you can watch my playlist, go to my playlist, you can see my digital marketing playlist. But the main area that I focus on is SEM or PPC. So that's search engine marketing, and I do pay-per-click. So if you don't know what that is, if you go to YouTube, you're seeing ads, or you go anywhere on the internet, you see ads. You're on Facebook, you see ads. That's what I do. And so a lot of people hate that, but that's how businesses generate leads. That's how they make money, and that's how you're able to watch all of this for free. Okay, so if you're ever interested in behind the scenes, learning how the internet works and actually making money from it, then I highly recommend that you look at some type of marketing or sales related position. Okay, so that's just a little FYI. So that's what I do. I still do it to this day. I love digital marketing. And if you are a content creator, you're going to be doing some type of marketing, and all of it's digital. Okay, so just that's just an aside to that. Other things that I have, okay, Rose, Geeks, the evil one with ads. Yes, I am the evil one. But yeah, it's really great to understand how the internet works, because a lot of people, and I don't expect people to know these things, because there's so many things to learn, right? But if you kind of like learn how it works behind the scenes, it gives you a better understanding, and I would say it gives you a more appreciation of how these things are done. Okay, because you might think that this stuff just appears out of nowhere. No, there's people. There's people behind all of this, There's people who run the ads. There's people who run the servers. There's a marketing team. There's a sales team. There is a content creation team behind the scenes. There's things like branding. There's web hosting. There's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of business being done. So there's B2B businesses, C2C, C2B. So all of those things come together. Okay, and this is another cool thing. If you do decide to do stuff on the internet, you're gonna learn a lot of stuff. There's so many things that I've learned, and I continue to learn, that I don't talk about this channel. Things such as inbound marketing. I don't really talk about too much about that, right? Or things such as creating lead magnets, or retargeting, remarketing, those things are really exciting to me as well, but this isn't like the right place for me to talk about it, okay, except for my digital marketing playlist. And so anyways, to get outside of that, there's a lot of stuff, cool stuff that you could learn by doing stuff on the internet. And so, hey, Gerard, oh, very great to see you. Gerard Craig is another longtime viewer, supporter. Thank you so much, Gerard, for being here for so long. And this is the thing, if you are going to be doing live videos like I'm doing, if you wanted to do this more often, if you wanted to do it like more successfully, then, have it planned and let your audience know. Like you could schedule a live stream, which I have done before, but my audience was way, way smaller back then. But if I were to like schedule this nowadays with the audience I have now, I'd probably have more people, because they would know that I'm doing a live stream, okay? But like I said, I rarely do these. And I don't know who joined, but I think it's in a different language that I didn't understand. That's another cool thing. Oh man, okay. Wow, I really don't like this interface. So, okay, all right. Okay, I don't know what language this is. Michael, hey, Vasil. All right, I think that's Vasil. Vasil has also been here a long time. I don't know if that's the same person, Vasilev. But if I remember correctly, Vasil is another long-time supporter. I don't know if that's you, Michael Vasilev, but Vasil was here. He's from the Ukraine, so that's in Europe. And so this is so awesome. And if I ever get to travel to these, whenever this pandemic, blows over, I definitely plan on traveling internationally, um, just to explore. I love to learn about other cultures, and other people in other countries. But at the same time, I'm probably going to try to connect with more international creators in the future, because I really feel that's a great way to learn and grow communities together without having to physically go there if I couldn't. Okay, so it's been 40 minutes. My battery is running low on my phone. But the last thing I want to say as always is thank you so much for joining my random live streams. For all the previous supporters who've been here for a long time, thank you so much. And then for everybody who's new here, thank you from the bottom of this geek's heart. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you got something out of this. So Cento Live, I'm sorry, Bolton. I actually have to close this one because my battery's almost done. So if you actually had any thoughts on this, leave it in the comments area below. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and I'll see you on another episode.